Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday, the 9th of July 2021, and there's only one place to start this week, and that's with England after they successfully managed to qualify for Sunday's final of the European Championships, where they'll take on Italy at Wembley at 8 pm. And well, it's been a great last 7 days really for England. Superb victory last Saturday against Ukraine, comfortable 4-0 win in Rome, and then on Wednesday night at Wembley, a tough fought 2-1 victory after extra time against a very resilient Denmark team. Put up a great fight. It was a tough match, very tactical battle. Gareth Southgate making several changes during the second half, even taking Jack Grealish off as a week coming as a sub, and he took him off. But in hindsight, it was the right decision, as England tried to make sure they didn't chuck the lead away that they'd worked hard for. It's debatable whether it was a penalty, but England received in extra time, and although Kane missed and Schmeichel saved it, even despite the fact that somebody was shining a laser pen in his face, which he said didn't distract him, he managed to score a rebounded Kane, put it in to get England a deserved win. Like I say, the penalty was debatable. Having said that, we should have had one before, and at the timing, Denmark's fantastic opening goal, which was a superb free kick by Damsgaard. I aren't sure it was even a free kick. I wasn't even sure it was foul, and it turns out afterwards that perhaps the free kick they took was illegal because the way they lined the wall up. But it's all in hindsight now. It doesn't matter. And we're through to play Italy. Italy, who beat Spain on penalties. Spain will consider themselves very unlucky, I would say, on Tuesday night, having been the better team for the majority of the game. Italy just knew that the only way they were probably going to win was to take the game to penalties, and we started showing their old side again. A lot of the gamesmanship were there. So on Sunday, hopefully England will be prepared for that. Very wily in Italy, with players like Bonucci and Chiellini at the heart of the defence. Hopefully we can exploit the fact that they're going to be a little bit slower now. They're getting on a bit. So the old men in defence, but they're very, very wily, like I say, and they're very good defenders. So it will be a very tough game. It could go either way. Even Verratti in his interview yesterday stated that it'll be a great game and it'll be very tight, and even accepted that England now actually are quite technically good. So that's an improvement from the past. Italy, I'm sure, will be confident. They're always confident. Lino, Antonio, Massimo, if you're watching this, if you are, come on, you've got to accept this time. It's England's time. It's coming home. You're going to have to take second place this time. So come on, England, we can do it. In Gareth we trust, and let's hope it's a great game. Let's hope we're all celebrating on Monday morning. Okay, moving on from the European Championships, let's talk about FC Halifax Town, and they've made a couple of signings this week. Billy Waters has joined from Torquay, and we've also signed Harvey Gilmore. I can't remember where he was last, but he certainly played for Tranmere in League Two. He will probably fill the role that's been vacated by Jack Earing, so keep an eye on how good he's going to be. Hopefully it's a good signing. Both players have come with recommendations, quite a few of their fans on social media, and I've seen Waters play a few times for Torquay, and he looks really good, a really good player. So let's hope he's up there to supplement Jake Hyde as opposed to replace him, because rumours are that he may still be leaving. I don't think that will be the case. Well, I hope that's not going to be the case. So keep your eyes on whether there's any more players leaving or coming in. Reserve goalkeeper Davison Hale's announced he's leaving, so I'm not being awful to the lad, but he's never played, so he's not going to be a great loss to the team, sadly. But good luck to him in the future. So the fixtures were announced on Wednesday just gone, and hooray, hooray! For the first time in years, we're actually at home on Boxing Day to Grimsby. So let's have a home game on Boxing Day. It's fantastic. We're also at home to Maidenhead, first day of the season, which is Saturday the 21st of August, 2021. And then we've got a big game at Grimsby on the 2nd of January 2022. Sandwiched between those two games against Grimsby is the match our way to Chesterfield on the 28th of December. The fixture list is pretty good. It's quite kind to us this time. We're at home on August Bank Holiday Monday and Easter Monday. I think Altrincham on August Bank Holiday Monday and Chesterfield again on Easter Monday. So yeah, not too much to complain about there. Great to have a home game on Boxing Day, and let's hope it's going to be a good season for the Sherman. And this time, hope we can make it into the League Two, whether it be via playoffs or win the league. It'd be nice to win the league, but hey, whatever we can get, that's great. So, okay, now we're going to move on to the cricket. And last weekend's cricket in Halifax Premier League Cricket League was decimated by the weather. one game was completed, so all I can say is that SBCI, Soberbridge Church Institute, must have some kind of real microclimate because they managed to complete the game against Whalley, and Whalley won. Whalley scored 249 for 4. I forget 42 overs. I think it was reduced to 42 overs. And in that innings of 249 for 4, we need to pay a big thanks to Ben Atkinson, who scored an unbeaten 96. He was strongly supported by Greg Keywood, who scored 55, and also Chris Marsh, who scored 47. So that good performance by those three. And in response, SBCI managed or struggled to 140 for 8. Fahim Katana took 4 wickets for Whalley, and there were 3 wickets also for Greg Keywood, so he was supporting in the bowling area as well. The only real incident, the only real innings of note from SBCI was veteran Chris Dalby, who scored 54 runs. So a good performance by Chris, but not enough to save his team, unfortunately. All the rest of the games were cancelled. Well, Copley actually started their game. It was abandoned. They played 3 overs and scored 5 runs with Copley against Myvenroy, but all the other matches were abandoned. So, looking forward to this weekend. The Halifax Cricket League obviously looking for some better weather. I think showers are forecast. One of the games has actually been cancelled again because COVID's unfortunately reared its head, and the game between Whalley and Booth is actually off due to COVID. The other games are scheduled still to go ahead, and those matches are Blackley against Illingworth St Mary's, Myvenroy against SBCI, Shelf North Arm Hedgetop against Copley, Thornton are at home to Bradshaw. Bradshaw will be looking to get some good result after struggling a little bit recently, and they haven't won in the last 4 or 5 matches. But Thornton have only won one of their last 4 or 5 matches as well, so they'll be hoping for a victory there. Bradshaw, and Triangle at home to Sorby Bridge. Now Triangle, the form's been a bit mixed as well recently, but Sorby Bridge has as well. They've only won one of the last 4, so again Sorby Bridge will be looking for a victory there. So good luck to the lads from those teams, and hopefully we'll get some action in, and hopefully it won't be decimated by the weather like it was last weekend. So good luck to all the players involved there. And just before I move on, just want to mention one of my friends who's a regular viewer of this channel, Ian Clegg, stated he may well be making his comeback this weekend for the first time in probably 15 or 16 years. He's going to be possibly playing for Out Lane alongside my other friend Neil Barraclough. It'll be his comeback game, so good luck to Cleggy in that game, and let's hope he makes it. I think you should get yourself on to watch because it might be his one and only performance. He said he's more of a golfer these days, so just bear that in mind when he's playing. Okay, so good luck. Okay, move on now to talk about Yorkshire. Yorkshire is doing really well in the county championship and in the T20 Blast. In the championship, we've got one qualifying game to go, which is against Lancashire at Headingley, starting on Sunday. I believe Yorkshire have already qualified for Division 1, simply because of the fact that the top of the table now, they've got more points from the teams in the relevant position in the other league, so irrespective of whether it's first or second, I believe they may well be through, because it said that Lancashire had qualified, and they're 139 points, Yorkshire 141, so they're well clear of the rest of the teams in the group. So come on Yorkshire, beat Lancashire to finish it off, just to make sure there's no doubts about anything. And in the T20 Blast, they sit second at the table on 15 points behind Notts, and they're playing Notts I think tonight, so that's a big game to look forward to. Yorkshire traditionally haven't done that well in the T20, so hopefully they'll put that right this year, make it to finals day. Now moving on to international cricket, and again COVID's played its part here. England beat Pakistan in the first ODI of the series yesterday. However, it was with basically a third choice team. They had to call upon several members of the team who hadn't played for some time, reinstate Ben Stokes as captain, his first real serious game of the season, and they had to rely on people like David Milan to come back in as well, because there were positive tests amongst the ODI team from the series against Sri Lanka. 4 players and I think 3 backroom staff management team. Even Chris Silverwood, who took some time off, had to return to the fold to take charge of these games because there's no one else to take charge. But having said that, it was a very comfortable win for England. Pakistan batted first. England won the toss, put Pakistan in, and they were all out for 141, I think it was. Not a very good performance. Good performance by Saqib Mahmood from Lancashire. 4 wickets for 42 he took. A couple of wickets also for Matt Parkinson, the spinner, also from Lancashire. And In response, England posted 142 for one, unbeaten 68, I think it was, from David Milan, and 58 on his debut in ODIs from Zach Crawley. Salt was up now, was out for 7, he was the only wicket that fell. But it was interesting to see the presentation before the match, because the cap presentation took for ages. I think there were 9 debutants. But a good result. Pakistan will be disappointed with that result. There seems to be plenty of fans there supporting them, but the team let them down a little bit. So they'll be looking ahead to the rest of the series now and hoping they can rectify what happened yesterday. So hopefully again weather won't intervene here and we'll get some good cricket before the start of the 100, which everybody's talking about. I think it starts on the 21st, so that's just under a couple of weeks away now. And we'll talk about that a little bit nearer the time. Moving on from cricket now, we're going to talk about Wimbledon, and it's coming to its conclusion this weekend. And the women's final is tomorrow, Saturday, and Ashley Barty will take on Karolina Pliskova in the final. Barty beat Angelique Kerber in straight sets yesterday. So I think she's probably going to be the favourite, to be honest with you. So I think, Pliskova has been number 1 in the world previously, but on current form, you'd probably fancy Barty to win. In the men's competition, we're at semi-final stage. The semi-finals are today. Novak Djokovic still a very strong favourite, especially now Daniil Medvedev and Roger Federer have been eliminated. They were probably the two that had a chance of beating him, I reckon. But Novak's got his semi-final today. He's playing Denis Shapovalov from Canada. Denis was the man who I believe eliminated Andy Murray early in the week or late last week. So be interested to see how Denis gets on in this big game. And in the other semi-final, it's Hubert Hurkacz, the man who overcome Roger Federer in the last round. He'll be taking on Matteo Berrettini, who's been around for some time now. So that'll be a closely contested game, I think. But like I say, I can't really see past Novak Djokovic winning the title, to be honest, being the men's side of things. Moving on from tennis, we're going to talk about golf. Scottish Open is on this week, and next week it is the British Open Golf Championship, and it starts on Thursday the 15th, runs through to Sunday the 18th. Yeah, that's right, Thursday the 15th to Sunday the 18th. The world number 1, John Rahm, is in very good form at the moment. He's actually playing in Scotland at the moment, and he's got to be the favourite, I think, on current form. He's a nice bloke. Obviously I want one of the English lads to win, so it'd be nice to see someone like Rose or Poole win it, or Casey. But if he can't win it, I think I'd like Rahm to win it, just because of what he's been through family wise in the last few months. He's struggled with COVID and things like that, and he's had a bit of a tough time. And what we're cheering for Rory McIlroy, seeing as he couldn't be able to cheer for England the other night, and he cheered for Denmark in the football, so he can do one for me. So less said about that, probably the better. We'll leave that there, I think. So yeah, good luck to all the players at the Open. I hope they get good weather there. The forecast is for it to improve a little bit next week, so fingers crossed they'll get some good conditions to play decent quality top quality golf there. Moving on from golf now and on to rugby league, and the Halifax Panthers had a very good win again this last Sunday. A very tense and close fought battle, which they won in the last minute with a drop goal against Widnes. So they won by 17 points to 16 in the end, after being down by, I think it was 6 points to 16 at one stage. Probably, I think it was half time actually. So a good result for Halifax again there. They're up to 4th in the table now. So, and they've got a game at home against Whitehaven at 1 PM on Sunday. All the other games kick off at 3, Halifax games kick off at 1. Whether it's anything to do with football, I'm not sure. But go along and support them if you can. It's a game they need to win, and they should win. On the same day, looking through the rest of the fixtures, Widnes play Featherstone, so that's quite a tough game for Featherstone. Batley take on Toulouse. London Broncos play York. Newcastle play Dewsbury. Oldham are playing Bradford Bulls, and Swinton play Sheffield. So there you go. That's what the situation is with the Championship. In the Super League, Hull FC are playing Leigh. They brought that kick-off forward to 1:30, so it avoids a clash with the England game. They've stated that quite clearly. So you've got Hull KR against Warrington, Wigan against Hull, and Castleford against Salford. So they're Sunday's games in the Super League. And there's a game, I think there's a game tonight actually. Let's have a look, see about that as well. Yeah, we have 2 games tonight. The big games tonight actually is Leeds against Catalans. The Catalans are still at the top of the table, I think. I'm just going to check that. Yes, they are. Percentage points, 90.9% success rate. They've lost 1 out of 11. But Leeds' form's improved recently. They're starting to pick up as well. And they're 7th in the table now. And they've won the last 4 in a row. So Catalans have won the last 5 in a row. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And we've been at Headingley. That could be a tough match for Catalans. And the other game tonight is Wakefield against St Helens. Saints doing well, especially after their victory last Sunday against Wigan. I watched that. They beat Wigan by 24 points to 12 in pretty bad conditions, to be fair. But I'd expect a St Helens victory there. Okay, moving on from Rugby League, just briefly talk about Rugby Union. The Lions tour to South Africa has been a bit of disarray, to be honest with you. Simply because, again, COVID's played its part. South African officials and players have had tests that proved positive. Now some of the backroom staff, I think maybe one or two of the Lions players have also been struck down with COVID positive tests. So hope they all get better soon, and hopefully they can get on with the tour, because some of the games having to be rearranged. So you need to keep it, if you're really bothered about Rugby Union, you need to keep an eye on the schedule, because it's changing from day to day at the moment. They've even played the same team twice. Because one of the other matches couldn't go ahead because of the COVID situation. So keep your eyes on that. Hopefully the test series is going to be able to go ahead. They are planning to, as far as I'm aware. So just watch out in the news for what's going on there. And then just going to mention briefly the Olympics, because the Olympics are going to go ahead in Japan. They start on the 23rd of July, but they've decided now they've had to declare a 4th state of emergency in Tokyo. So the games are now going to go ahead without any fans at all. People have been asked to stay at home until at least the 22nd of August. That's 2 days before the Paralympics starts. So the Paralympics are also going to be in danger of having no fans at the event. So keep your eyes on the news for that as well. See if that's affected. But the Olympics, unfortunately, are going to go ahead without any fans attending, which is sad for the athletes and their competitors. But at the end of the day, they've trained all this time to take part. So I'm sure they'd rather take part and try and win the medals than not take part at all. So good luck to all competitors there. Next, we're going to look at this week's speedway in the Premiership in England. Ipswich beat Bellevue 48-42 last night. Ipswich, to my sort of knowledge, pulled a little bit of a fast one there. Jason Crump's still injured, unfortunately for him. He made one comeback, one meeting, struggled, pulled out, rode the last 2 meetings. They got in Sam Masters from Wolves, who scored 10 in a bonus. Craig Cook were in inspired form against Bellevue, his former team, scoring a 15-point maximum. I say Masters got 10 in a bonus. Top scorer for Bellevue was Brady Kurtz with 13. It was neck and neck until sort of like heat 12 when Bellevue conceded a 5-1. And in heat 13 he conceded another 5-1, which led to a tactical substitute in heat 14, where Brady Kurtz came as attack sub and he got a 5-1 with Steve Worrell. So take it to a last heat decider. They were 4 points down, but they lost the last heat 4-2. Dan Bewley started well. He scored 7 in the bonus from his first 3 rides, but tailed off and scored 0 in his last 2 rides. But a big blow for Bellevue was losing Charles Wright, injured in his first ride. He had to pull out of the meeting. They all scored a few points each, but it wasn't enough to match up with Ipswich's top 2 or 3 riders. And unfortunately, they did get a point, but they lost 48-42. So it means Peterborough, I think, still top. Bellevue was second. Ipswich needed a win because they've got 2 wins in a week now, so that pulls them back into contention for the playoffs again. Kings Lynn are tailed off badly at the bottom of the table, and team manager Peter Stroke actually resigned during the week. So it's not going too well at Kings Lynn. They look to have a really, really weak team. Most of the teams look really weak anyway. In other news this week as well, and I think this is ridiculous, Hans Andersen, former Grand Prix star Danish rider who rides in the Premiership for Peterborough, is now signed to double up with Leicester. Unfortunately, there's not enough riders to go around. Nearly every rider is doubling up between the 2 leagues, but it's not brilliant for Speedway in this country at the moment. We're in a bit of a bad situation, I'd say, overall. So I hope it can survive. I'm not sure how much longer it's going to go on the way it's going, or maybe we should just have 1 league with all the teams in it. That's got to be a possibility, I think. It just make it easier. Don't forget the Grand Prix starts next weekend. Double round, Prague, Friday and Saturday, first 2 rounds. And then the next set of rounds are Friday and Saturday, 30th and 31st of July in Wroclaw. The tickets are available for that now. So if you're interested in travelling to Poland, get your tickets and get your flights sorted out, because I think you can go now. About time, eh? Obviously we've got Freedom Day, as they call it, on the 19th of July, so things are going to go back to something like normal. I'm not sure it'll go back to fully like normal. Most people probably don't want it to go back to fully like normal just yet, but, something like normal's good. And hopefully, as you've seen, the fans at Wembley, a little bit over the top, some of it, but it's great to have fans in there making the atmosphere at the games and football. So, we do miss them. Last subject this week, stock cars. Just to mention that this weekend we've got a speed weekend. It's at Skegness, 10th and 11th, Saturday, Sunday. So get yourself along there if you're in the locality and like stock cars, or you fancy some top class stock car racing. That should be a good event. So I think that's it for this weekend. Looking ahead to what's happening and what's happened in the last week or so. It's been a very busy week in sport, a successful week, and let's hope next week I'll be talking about England victory. England will be the European champions in the football. So until then, I wish you all the best. It's goodbye for me. See you then.